Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all. So sometimes when I call in the guides before I start a reading, I'll get like a channeled message. And so it was like two parts. The first focus was on like intense anxiety, and it was so in the body, like so in the heart area, in the solar plexus area. It's like, whew, like a very restrictive, constrictive kind of anxiety, like, whew, suffocating a little bit. And then it went to some sort of a scenario where I guess I could only describe it as like, say you find yourself in a past situation, like the past came to visit you. This could involve people, this could involve places, this could involve whatever it is, or just familiar kind of whatever. And there's something about bringing an added awareness of yourself, and not a self-consciousness, but more, the word witness has been coming up a lot in readings lately, like truly witness yourself. And so especially in terms of who you are now, you know, compared to the person that you were in the first time you found yourself in this scenario or whatever it is. And really what I was receiving was to witness yourself choosing yourself. And so it's like, even if you find yourself, say for example, you know, your parents are used to treating you a certain way, you took some space and time and distance from them, and then you hadn't seen them in a number of years or something, and then you find yourself back in that same scenario, but you are a different person, and you have lived your life in such a way that you now discover, it could be even surprising to discover how much you prefer yourself than any other versions that they would try to project onto you. So there's something about that, to witness your own growth, to witness that, and somehow where anxiety is involved, maybe it's recognizing that it's safe to let it go now. You don't have to be in fight or flight. And of course, it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to witness it and actually facilitate your own release of that anxiety, especially from that solar plexus area. But breath work, I did a somatic breath work exercise thing yesterday, and it was so intense, and I so recommend it. So now we're going to get to the cards. So I love that that whole channeled message came through, and then we've got the Chariot clarified by the Three of Swords reversed. So whatever that scenario was, it's like you're getting over it. Whatever broke your heart, again, it could be anything. It could be family relationships, romantic relationships, jobs. It could be multiple things that maybe there's some sort of a summary, a summarizing of these different timelines now really coming to a close. And so you're healing this brokenheartedness and getting more and more, I want to say, confidence as well as courage to move on the path that you know is more aligned to your destiny, that feels more aligned to your freedom, your soul's purpose, truly being alive in who you are. So moving towards that, I always like to point out there's no reins. And so you're not bound to anybody else's projections. You're not bound to anybody else's decisions. You're not bound to anybody else's judgments. You're not bound to any of that fucking shit. You are bound to the path that you allow yourself to go on, and you're free to choose the one that feels most empowering and most authentic to you. So then we move over to, we've got the Ace of Swords reversed and the King of Pentacles upright. And I feel like this is another way of saying all of that. It's like you're coming out of this, maybe you spiraled down in the initial, you know, heartbreak or whatever it was, and now it feels like there's a comeuppance. I like that word. There's a comeuppance into recognizing your own self-worth, self-value, and again, recognizing like this is a very mature being. He knows his fucking worth. He knows he has value. He knows what he's capable of. He has witnessed himself providing value to his own life, and he has witnessed himself providing value to others. And so whether others want to recognize that or appreciate it or whatever, it's not going to spiral him down anymore. He's just had to accept that self-worth comes from within, and he's more comfortable. So he's turned his back on this allowing others' projections, and really it feels a lot like projection from other people, others' judgments, whatever. He's really turning his back on that and looking at his own wealth, looking at his own value. Then we have, I'm trying to remember what order they came in. Then we had the Hermit, and it's funny because the Hermit came out by itself. And it really is about being comfortable being alone, being comfortable sitting with yourself. I don't think it means that you need to isolate necessarily, but it's okay to withdraw from people and situations that don't recognize your inner light, that don't recognize that value. And it does feel like in this embracing of your own self-worth, in this recognition, in this witnessing of the value that you provide and the inherent worthiness of being that you know is you, there is some sort of an outward reflection. It almost feels like you become a beacon there, and so it's like feet firmly planted on the ground, but then the light of your consciousness, it just feels like it's glowing for the world to see. Whether they receive that light as an inspiration or whether it's a trigger, you have this capacity. It feels like you have this far reach with your light now, that you are affecting ripples of change, you know, in the currents of others' realities. Not that you're here to dominate anybody, you're just here to dominate your own life. You're here to dominate your own reality, and that's all we're here to do. We've had enough of the domination paradigm, but in this beautiful dominance of knowing who the fuck you are, in this dominance choosing sovereign, authentic vibrational frequency for yourself, and it's such a from within kind of an emanation, it feels like you're sending out a beacon where others witness this strong self-worth, self-possession kind of a thing, and maybe now they're recognizing that they can choose that for themselves as well. And then you've also got this, really it kind of came this way. But I wanted to take these two first. I think Seven of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles, both of them reversed. I think these past scenarios have served you well in recognizing what is not going to nurture you, what is not nourishing for you, what's a waste of your time trying to plant. And it's more about recognizing, wow, this situation, this person does not value me. And so not doing more to try to grow roots with that person or that situation. And then we end with the Hanged Man reversed, the Hierophant reversed, and the Eight of Pentacles reversed. And it just feels like more of the same. It's like with this, I want to say you've seen the writing on the wall. You've seen that maybe you were, it could even be that you were like waiting for your turn to shine, giving the power for someone else to determine when it's your time to shine, and you're done waiting because you recognize if you give them the power, they're never going to let you shine. They're always going to feel the need to outshine you. And that's a shame, especially when it's family members or lovers or, you know, co-workers or anything, any situation in your life. With this Eight of Pentacles, I don't know, there's something about here with that Hierophant reversed also. This one just says you've seen the writing on the wall. You've seen enough. But over here, it's like you recognize there's greater depth to your calling. And I kind of, maybe that's what I'll call the video. There's greater depth to your calling. And so it's not about, this is a silly, kind of a silly comparison, but it's what I feel like I have to give. I'm a singer, and so I've worked with a whole variety of musicians throughout my life. And there are some people who have played for 40 years or more, but they lack the passion. And I hate to say that, but it's like we don't connect in the groove or something because they're playing mechanically instead of passionately. And it kind of feels like you were dancing and somebody had the strings and they were dancing you or something like that. And so how can you dance with passion when you're allowing another to have such tight control over your movements? And so this was a toxic situation anyway. It feels very codependent. And so it's like, no, you don't need that. You have the passion. You have the divine spirit. You have whatever you want to call it, but it really does feel connected to divinity. So play, sing, act with passion. All right, that's all I have for today. Once again, my name is Fairlight. Thank you so much for watching, and peace and love until next time.